Hi friends, it's Miss Grimsley. You can call me Miss Marshmallow. I am going to read another book for you today. This is one of my favorite books it's been around a long time. Maybe even your grandma and grandpa read this book. It was written in 1940, a long time ago. It's called Caps for Sale. Caps for Sale. This is the man. He's called a peddler because it's an old-fashioned word for someone who sells something. And his job is to sell caps that you put on your head. So this book is called Caps for Sale, a tale of a peddler, some monkeys, and their monkey business. Monkey business means they're causing some trouble. Written and illustrated by Esfer Slobodkina. So the person who wrote this book is the author and the illustrator. Caps for Sale. Here we go. There is the peddler. He's walking through the village with caps on his head. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler carrying his caps on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had on his own checked cap. Then a bunch of gray caps. Then a bunch of brown caps. Then a bunch of blue caps. And then on the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the street, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. As he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." And he wanted the people to come out of their house and buy a cap from him. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody even wanted a red cap, which was their favorite color. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," he said. And so he walked out of town, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He didn't want them to fall off. He's balancing them very carefully. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "This is a nice place for a rest," he thought. And he sat down very slowly under the tree, and he leaned back very carefully, little by little, so he wouldn't knock off the caps on his head. Then he put his hand up on his head to check and make sure that the caps were all there. First, his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and then the red caps on the very top. They were all there. And so he closed his eyes and went to sleep. He slept for a long time. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. Look carefully. What do you see? Uh-oh, something's missing. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. Oh no! All he felt was his own checked cap. He looked to the right of him. No caps. He looked to the left of him. No caps. He looked behind him. No caps. He looked behind the tree. No caps. See him looking carefully? Then he looked up into the tree. And what do you think he saw? You see his face? He's looking up into the tree. On every branch sat a monkey And on every monkey was a gray or brown or blue or red cap. Look at those monkeys. The peddler looked at the monkeys, and the monkeys looked at the peddler, and he didn't know what to do. So finally he spoke to them. What do you think he said to these peddlers, to these monkeys? He said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." You see him pointing his finger at them? But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him. They copied him. They said, well, look at that. Those naughty monkeys. This made the peddler angry. So he shook his hands at them and he said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." Look at his hands. But the monkeys only shook their hands back at him and said, look at them. They're copying him. Now, this made the peddler so angry, he stomped his foot and he said, "Oh, you monkeys, you give me back my caps." Look at him stomping his foot. But the monkeys only stomped their foot back at him. And they said, can you see them stomping their feet in the tree? By this time, the peddler was very, very angry. And he stomped his foot. And he said, "You monkeys, you give me back my caps." But the monkeys stomped their feet again, both their feet. And they said, at last, the peddler became so angry that he took off his cap and he threw it on the ground. Look at his face. Oh, he's so mad at those monkeys. But guess what the monkeys did? The monkeys took off their caps. Oh, look at that. Can you see? They're copying everything the peddler does, so they took off their caps. And all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. The monkeys threw their caps down just like the peddlers did. So the peddler picked up his caps and he put them back on his head. First, his own checked cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and then on the very top, the red caps. And slowly, slowly, he walked back into town saying, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." And this says, the end. That means that is the end of the story. The peddler got his caps back. And there's the back, and this is the front. Caps for sale. I hope you liked that story about caps for sale. And it's fun to see that the monkeys were copying the peddler in everything he did. And he got his caps back. I will read you another book soon. I miss you, my friends. Bye-bye.